I had moved away from Alberta to go to graduate school, and I'd lived in Toronto, in Washington, D.C., and in London. When I came back in the mid-1980s to visit family, at that time I walked around in downtown Calgary, and I was struck by how raw and kind of thin the layer of newness was, and how easy it was to imagine what was just under the surface, and those frontier hotels and horses tied up outside, the rough part of town by the railroad tracks, the drunks on the street. I wandered into the old Calgary Public Library and sat in the public history, or in the local history room, and began to read about Calgary's oldest murder, the story of the native girl. She was a convent girl, actually, Rosalie Newgrass, who was murdered in a hotel downtown, and how that played out. The local man who was accused of taking her upstairs in the hotel to a room, having sex with her, leaving her on the bed bleeding, and going out to dinner. Well, she died. The frontier judge, French-Canadian, who took matters into his own hands and did what he had to do to get the verdict he wanted. The jury of 12 local men who were locked up until they did the right thing. The nosy newspaper man. And at the heart of it, this young Cree woman about whom almost nothing was ever known, except that she didn't appear to be a prostitute. Anyway, the story took hold of me, and I wrote the book. It was published in Canada and in England, and people at the time said, "I don't get it. I don't understand why you're writing about this." And, you know, the Calgary Olympics was only a couple of years after. The downtown was cleaned up. The library now has moved on. And we have another case, tragic, of Cindy Gladue in Edmonton, who died, bled to death in a room after sex with a man who walked away. So, you know, the story lives on, very unfortunately.